السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Assalamu alaikum. Can everybody hear me and can they see my screen? Inshallah, we're about to start in a couple of minutes here. I'm just setting it up and just hoping more people will join, inshallah. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, basically we're starting our next session for we're covering the tajweed rules for Nun Sakina and Tanween. To recap from last week, basically we covered the idhar rules and the idgham rules. Okay, you guys remember idhar and idgham are two of the rules that are governing Nun Sakina and Tanween for tajweed, okay, in the Quran. So there are two more that are left, namely iqlab and ikhfa. So we covered al-idhar and al-idgham, and we have two more, al-iqlab and al-ikhfa, which we will cover inshallah today. Idhar, you saw that it had to do with tanween or nun sakina being followed by one of these six throat letters called hamza, ha, ain, ha, ghain, qa. Any of these six letters, if they followed tanween or nun sakina, then you would have to do idhar, and we did examples of them. Idhar means you have to clearly pronounce the nun or tanween. And then in the case of idgham, we had four letters, 2, 3, 4, another six letters that are yarmalun, that had idgham, but then from those six, we had four that are idgham bi gunna, which is yanmu, ya, nun, mim, waw, and then we had two other letters, ra and lam, which were idgham bi ghayr gunna. So idgham means you merge the two letters together, as in the case of qulubun yawma idhin wajifa. For example, you're merging the tanween on ba with the ya because it's one of the four letters yanmu, and this is with the gunna. And then the other two letters that are lam and ra, they would, you would merge the lam with the next letter lam, and then with the tanween with the next letter lam in the case of waylulli kulli humazatil lumaza. So waylulli, and here you are merging the two together, and then in the humazatil you are merging the tanween with the lam. And then same thing with the kulu min rizqi rabbikum. So in this case, you're merging nun sakina with the ra, So here is the example for idgham bighayri gunna for those two letters, lam and ra. Okay, so inshallah we will move on to the next two rules in this session today, and those are iqlab. So iqlab is really what it means is change. So that is the linguistic definition. And in the case of tajweed, what it means is you are changing the noon sakina or the tanween into a meme when followed by a ba with the observance of the gunna and hiding of the meme. Okay, so let me reiterate. The changing of the noon sakina or tanween into a meme. So it's really changing the noon sound or the tanween sound into a meme, and then only when it's followed by, when noon sakina or tanween is followed by a ba. Okay, so it's only one letter that we have to observe this for, and then you have to also pronounce the gunna, but you have to hide the meme, so to speak, by closing your lips. So it has only one letter, which is the letter ba. If the ba occurs immediately after a noon sakina in the same word, or between two words, meaning the noon sakina or the tanween would be at the end of the word, and the ba is the first letter of the next word, then it requires that the reader changes the noon sakina or tanween into a hidden meme with a gunna present. So inshallah we'll see the examples very quickly, and then it will become apparent to you inshallah how to do this. And this is very common in the Quran, and so it's important to realize that this is a rule for Nun Sakina and Tanween. The Nun Sakina is changed into a meme and in pronunciation only, not in the written word. You may note that most copies of the Quran have a small meme written over or under the Nun in this case, or the second line or Dhamma of the Tanween is replaced by a small meme. So here are the examples. Okay, so what we're doing basically is we're changing Nun Sakina or Tanween into a meme, but we are hiding the meme by closing our lips, and we are pronouncing the gunna, but we're not pronouncing the noon at all. There's no noon sound. There's only a meme sound, but it's a hidden meme sound, and it has tanween. So it's a, it's a bunch of rules and packed into one. So in this example, the first example is فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي. So if you notice, there is a noon there, but with a small meme right above it, right? So that meme is just an indicator. It's not a letter that is part of the word, but it's just an indicator for pronunciation, for assisting in pronunciation. So it's present in the Quran. Usually the writing includes that, but even if it didn't include it, you would still have to pronounce the word with a meme sound, but a hidden meme sound, meaning that you close the lips on the meme, but you also pronounce the gunna. So فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي. So my lips are closed and I am pronouncing the gunna, but I'm not pronouncing the noon at all. Okay. فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي بِأَسْمَاءِ هَؤُلَاءِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. So this is from Surah Al-Baqarah. Next example. لِلَّهِ الْأَمْرُ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَمِنْ بَعْدُ. Pardon me. So here, مِنْ بَعْدُ. So if you notice, there is a gunna, مِنْ بَعْدُ. And there is a meme sound, but there is no noon sound, and the meme sound is hidden because I'm closing my lips. Mim ba'd. Okay, and then and the next example is Wallahu alimun bidhati as-sudur. So here the tanween on the meme, instead of saying alimun, you have to say alimun bidhati as-sudur. And you close the lips, but you do pronounce the gunna. Alimun bidhati as-sudur. And then the next example is كَلَّا لَئِن لَّمْ يَنْتَهِ لَنَسْفَعًا بِالنَّاصِيَةِ. So لَنَسْفَعًا بِالنَّاصِيَةِ. From here, instead of saying لَنَسْفَعًا, you have to say لَنَسْفَعًا بِالنَّاصِيَةِ because of the ba. only because of the ba that is followed by the tanween. Okay, so you have to observe that there is a ba after each of these examples. In the case of ambiuni, there is a ba, and in the case of wa min ba'd, there is a ba, and then alimum bidhat sudur, there is a ba, and then the lanasfa'an bin nasiya, there is a ba right there. So that is the reason why we are doing the iqlab, to observe this rule. Okay, and then we will all get chances to pronounce this and practice, inshallah. So some other things to remember in order for the iqlab to be correctly pronounced is that the changing the noon sakina or tanween into a meme, so that no trace of the noon sakina or the tanween is left. So you have to completely remove the noon sakina or tanween sound with the meme sound. Okay. And the second thing, as I mentioned, is hiding this meme by closing the lips on the meme and then separating with the ba. So you basically pronounce the meme with your closed lips, so there is no open sound for the meme. Okay, as in the case of a normal meme, you might have amr, for example, the lips are opened and closed and then opened. But in the case of this iqlab, you have to keep the lips closed until you pronounce the ba. Okay. So then you have, you also have number 3 here, observing the gunna while hiding the meme. This gunna is characteristics of the hidden meme and has nothing to do with neither the noon sakina nor the tanween. So it's not the gunna for noon sakina or the tanween, but it has to do with the gunna of the meme. Okay. So inshallah, let's see if we can pronounce each one of you, pronounce these 4 examples and see if we can get you guys to do the practice. Okay, so you guys ready? So let's start with Faiz. I'm going to go ahead and unmute Faiz and go ahead and pronounce these 4 examples. فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي من قبل ومن بعد and so on. Okay.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين. لله الأمر من قبل ومن بعد والله عليم بذات الصدور. كلا لئن لم بنات لنستعم بالناصية.
Okay, jazakallah khair. لنسفعا بالناصية. كلا لئن لم ينتهي لنسفعا بالناصية. Okay. Next, jazakallah khair. Faiz, I'm going to move to the next.
Muhammad and Zuhair also. Do you want them to?
Sure. Let's let them do that as well. Go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين. لله الأمر من قبل ومن بعد والله عليم بذات الصدور. كلا لئن لم ينتهي لنسفعا بالناصية.
Jazakallah khair. Anybody else over there?
One more.
Okay, Bismillah. Go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين. لله الأمر من قبل ومن بعد والله عليم بذات الصدور. كلا لئن لم لنفس بالناصية.
Jazakallah khair. All right, so let's let the next person, Tahir, go ahead and read these 4 examples.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين.
I take off one and then I put it.
لله الأمر من قبل ومن بعد والله عليم بذات الصدور. كلا لئن لم ينتهي لنسفعا بالناصية.
Jazakallah khair. So just make sure that you pronounce the ghunna as well. فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي, and then مِنْ بَعْدْ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ لَنَسْفَعًا بِالنَّاصِيَةِ. Okay, so just, it has 3 items, right? You have to change the noon into a meme or the tanween into a meme, which you did. You also have to close your lips on the meme so that it's a hidden meme and not an apparent meme. And then you have to pronounce the ghunna. So you did these 2, but you are, a little less in the ghunna, so you have to pronounce the ghunna properly. Okay? Jazakallah khair. We'll go to the next person, which is Wasim Aftab. Go ahead. I have unmuted you. If you can go ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead and pronounce. Okay, maybe the audio is not working on your end. We'll go to the next person and we'll come back to you. Okay, Shahid Ahsan, go ahead and pronounce.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين. لله الأمر من قبل ومن بعد والله عليم بذات الصدور. كلا لم ينتهوا لنسفهم بالناصية.
Okay, great. Jazakallah khair. Wasim Sab, if you are able to, go ahead and unmute yourself. And because it's showing that you're muted, I think. So there may be a way to unmute yourself, then you can read. So just remember, when you are reading these examples or when you're reading anything from the Quran, it's important to slow down, and there's no reason for us to hurry. I know traditionally we've been taught by people who read in a hurried tone anyway, so that's why we kind of developed the habit of reading it in a faster way. Reading fast does not mean that you're reading good, so you have to kind of slow down and pronounce everything properly. Look at the haraka on the letters, So, for example, you have the Fatha, Kasra, and Dhamma, the birthday page. You have to look at each of them, and if you are, if it means that you slow down and let yourself observe exactly what the letter has before you pronounce. I'm seeing that some of you, when you pronounce, you're pronouncing like, for example, yantahu instead of yantahi. And I know you know how to pronounce it properly. It's just that you haven't paid attention to the letter, or maybe it's my screen you can't see properly or something. So when you pronounce, because this is the Quran, you have to make sure that you pronounce it correctly. Otherwise, the meaning becomes different, right? So I'm going to go ahead and, for the people that just joined us, I'm going to go ahead and read these examples. And I won't repeat the rule that we just went through. You guys can watch the recording, inshallah, and hopefully benefit from there. But the reading is فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي. So we're changing the noon into a meme with a gunna. فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي بِأَسْمَاءِ هَؤُلَاءِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ لله الأمر من قبل ومن بعد والله عليم بذات الصدور كلا لئن لم ينته لنسفعا بالناصية. Okay, so those are the 4 examples that show the iqlab rule, where you're changing the noon sakina or the tanween into a meme. Okay, but these are the characteristics of that meme, that you completely change the noon sakina or tanween into a meme with no traces of noon sakina or tanween left. Okay, so you should not be hearing the noon sound at all. And then you hide the meme by closing the lips on the meme, and then you observe the gunna while hiding the meme. Okay, so you do have to pronounce the gunna. And this gunna has nothing to do with the noon sakina or the tanween, but it has to do with the meme. Okay, inshallah, next class we will have the rules of meme. Okay, so this one we're just doing noon sakina and tanween. So the last rule for noon sakina and tanween is called al-ikhfa. Al-ikhfa is probably the most common rule that is applied everywhere in the Quran, because it has to do with the most number of letters. Okay, so what does ikhfa mean? Ikhfa means hiding or concealing. Okay, so the definition in terms of tajweed is the pronunciation of a non-voweled letter stripped of any shadda, characterized somewhere between an izhar and an idgham, with a gunna remaining on the first letter. In the case the noon sakin and the tanween, its letters are 15 in numbers. And then the rest of the the rest of the Arabic alphabet, when taking out the letters of the 3 rules that we studied earlier, which is izhar, idgham, and iqlab. Okay, if you take out the letters that are part of these, so izhar we had hamza, ha, ain, ha, ghain, kha. Those are the 6 letters. And then idgham we had 6 again, right? Yarmalun. And then we had, for iqlab, we had just the ba. So any of the rest of the letters, including, these are the rest of the letters, ta, sa, jim, dal, zal, za, sin, shin, sa, da, ta, va, fa, qaf, kaf. So all of these letters, if they occur after the tanween or the noon sakina, then you apply the rule, what is called al-ikhfa. Okay, pronunciation of a non-vowel letter stripped of any shadda, characterized somewhere between izhar and idgham, with a gunna remaining on the first letter, and in this case the noon sakin and the tanween. Okay, so here we will do something like this. Okay, we'll go look at the examples real quick. First, if one of these letters follows a noon sakin in the same word or between 2 words, or follows the tanween at the beginning of the next word, And because tanween can only be at the end of a word, then the noon sakina sound, the noon sound is hidden. And this is called ikhfa haqiqiyan, which means that, you know, it's really hiding. Okay. So here is the example. من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله عليه. So رجال صدقوا. So I don't touch the tongue with the tip of my tongue to the teeth, to the, you know, front teeth. In the case of rijalun, I don't, you know, I don't pronounce the izhar of the noon. I don't really pronounce the noon the way noon is, because noon means that you touch the tip of your tongue to the top, the inside of your top front teeth. Okay, so I hope let me see if I can show you the tajweed rules where the noon is pronounced, right? So you have to look at the noon is you put the tongue the tip of your tongue to the, you know, front part of your, you know, bottom part of your front teeth, the top front teeth, the bottom part of your top front teeth, right? So in the case of ikhfa, I'm not doing that. I'm basically, you know, leaving some space there, so there's no touching really, right? So here is some example, some comments about that. The noon sakina, when it is in the ikhfa state, there is a dhamma on the letter preceding it. It should be pronounced with a full dhamma, but not given more than its usual. This means that, okay, this is something else. This is, we'll cover this in a second here. Okay. This is the one I was talking about. Another mistake in saying the ikhfa is letting the tongue adhere to the top in two incisors when saying the ikhfa. When this mistake is made, the listener hears a clear noon mudhira. So the clear noon sound should not be heard. Okay, it should be just the gunna with the hidden noon. Okay, the tongue should be a small distance from the two top incisors when hiding the noon, followed by a dal or a ta. To say the ikhfa correctly, the tongue should be close but not at the articulation point of the letter, causing the ikhfa. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea of how to pronounce it, and just have to listen carefully and then practice it, right? من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا رجال. So I don't say rijalun, but I say rijalun sadaqu. So hopefully that illustrates how the ikhfa is, and you'll see there is a lot of places in the Quran where you do this, right? So innal insana. So insan. You don't say insan. You say insan. Sayasla naran dhata lahab. Naran dhata. So I don't say naran, I say naran dhata lahab. So there is an ikhfa there. Min sharri ma khalaq. So instead of saying min sharri ma khalaq, I say min sharri ma khalaq. So there is a gunna and there is an ikhfa of the noon. So ikhfa just means hiding of the noon. Okay, this is the opposite of izhar. Izhar, you don't have the gunna and you have the clear pronunciation of the letter. So if we have like min amrillah, so you have a hamza after the noon, then you pronounce the letter properly by saying min. But in this case, you don't pronounce the letter properly, you just hide it. You say min sharri ma khalaq. Okay, so hopefully that this, you know, tells you exactly what the pronunciation is. So let's go ahead and pronounce each of these, starting with Mr. Shahid Ahsan. I'll go ahead and unmute you. Go ahead and try these examples.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Minal mu'minina rijalun sadaqu ma
رجال
rijalun sadaqu ma ahada wallahu alim.
عاهدوا الله عليه.
ahdahu wallahu alim.
إن الإنسان
innal insana inna insana nisa'un lafiyul qasir.
No. Innal
insana.
Yeah, but except you don't pronounce the noon for the insan. You say innal insana.
Innal insana lafiyul qusur.
لفي خسر.
لفي قصر.
Right.
إن الإنسان لفي قصور.
لفي خسر. Just say لفي خسر.
لفي قصر. سيصلى نارا ذات اللهب من شر ما خلق. من شر ما خلق.
Yeah, make sure you don't pronounce the noon, okay? Just before your tongue touches the teeth, you keep the tongue away from the teeth. من شر ما خلق.
من شر ما خلق.
Okay, good. All right, next one is Faiz. Go ahead, Faiz.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله عليه إن الإنسان لفي خسر.
No noon for insan. So innal insana.
إن الإنسان لفي خسر نارا ذات لهب.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
نارا ذات لهب.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
No, you don't pronounce the gunna like that. You don't pronounce the nuns, the tanween like that. Because if you're saying naran, that means you're not pronouncing the ikhfa. Okay? So you have to say naran.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
Very good.
من شر ما خلق.
من شر ما خلق.
من شر ما خلق.
Good. Jazakallah khair. It's a little bit difficult for people who haven't tried. Next person in your group.
Muhammad.
Go ahead, Muhammad.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Minal mu'minina rijalun sadaqu ma ahadullah alaih. Innal insana lafi khusr. Sayasla naran zata lahab. Min sharri ma khalaq.
Wow, very good. Jazakallah khair. Excellent. Next one.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله عليه إن الإنسان لفي خسر سيصلى نارا ذات لهب من شر ما خلق.
Very good. Jazakallah khair. Okay, we'll move to the next one, which is Javed Bhai. Go ahead and read.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله عليه إن إنسان
إن
إن
الإنسان
الإنسان لفي خسر سيصلى نارا ذات لهب من شر ما خلق
very good من شر ما خلق.
من شر ما خلق.
Javed bhai, you missed the Iqlab session right before you joined. We were practicing the Iqlab, so you'll have to watch the recording. And inshallah, next week when we do, we'll do like a revision session before we start with the next rule. So you'll get a chance to practice. But I encourage you to watch the recording once it's available, inshallah.
Inshallah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, next person is Shah. Go ahead. I have unmuted you. If you have anybody there to read, go ahead. Okay, we'll go with Tahir. Go ahead, Tahir. Go ahead and unmute yourself and read these examples, please.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله عليه إن الإنسان لفي خسر سيصلى نارا ذات لهب من شر ما خلق.
Jazakallah khair. Less pronouncing the noon and more pronouncing the ikhfa. Okay, but inshallah, very good. You just need more practice. Sheikh Wasim Saab, go ahead and read if you can. If you can unmute yourself first. I think there might be like some kind of a mute button on your, I think you're connected to iPad. So there may be a mute button that you have to unmute yourself before you can read. Okay, there you go. Now we can hear you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Sorry, actually, I was just not sure about this iPad thing.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead. You can try these examples.
I can read Surah Nas.
Sure, you can read Surah An-Nas. No problem.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Jazakallah khair. So that's a good segue, inshallah. What we will do is we will go ahead and play Surah An-Nas. I want to, because we're done with today's rules. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I unplugged my my earphones, so I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody first, and then I'm going to play the Surah An-Nas by party here. So let's see if I can do that.
قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Actually, since I've read my mind, actually I wanted to start with Surah An-Nas today. So, but I wanted to read it with this qari here. This is a little bit slower. So let's see.
قل أعوذ برب الناس.
See, the idea is to read slowly and pronounce everything properly. And as you will learn in the next few sessions, inshallah, there's a lot more rules that we need to observe. We only covered some of the rules, right? So in this case here, he's pronouncing the ghunna properly. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. So the more slow we do, the more we are able to pronounce all the letters properly, observe all the rules correctly. So I encourage everybody to listen to Abdullah Basfar on QuranFlash.com. This is probably the easiest one. If you have other resources, that's fine too. Abdullah Basfar, because he reads slowly. That's the idea in this class we're trying to learn. And
ملك الناس
see how slow he went and he pronounced the gunna properly.
إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Okay, so now we have some time still. So let's everybody one by one read Surah An-Nas. So we'll go with Ahsan, if you can.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Jazakallah khair. Very good. I don't know who is the Android attendee. If you're able to read, go ahead and read, please.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Jazakallah khair. Very good. Anybody else with you that wants to read?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Let them read it. Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Go ahead and read, please.
Actually, no one else.
No one else? Okay, no problem. Jazakallah khair. Thank you. Okay, Faiz Saab, go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Very good. Jazakallah. Let Muhammad read, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Jazakallah khair. What about Uzair?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Jazakallah khair. Very good. You pronounced the ikhfa on min sharril, which is very good. Jazakallah khair. And then next person is Javed. Go ahead, Javed bhai.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Jazakallah khair. So Ilahin Nas. Ilahin Nas, the third one.
Ilahin Nas.
Right. And then just spend a little more time on the gunna. So Birabbin Nas. Right. So that's just a little tidbit about this. That you have to slow down, and inshallah, the slower you read, the better it's going to be for everybody. Inshallah. Okay. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. Okay. Next one is Shah. If you're able to read. Unmute yourself before you read. We can't hear you. Okay, some technical difficulties there, I think. Okay, next one is Tahir. Go ahead and read, Tahir. You have to unmute yourself, okay?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قل أعوذ برب الناس مالك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Very good, Jazakallah khair. And Wasim Saab, go ahead and unmute yourself and read.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Just practice and practice more. Just to recap, we have covered the rules of Nun Sakina and Tanween between the last class and this class. There were 4 rules. Al-Izhar, Al-Idgham, Al-Iqlab, and these rules only apply to Nun Sakina and Tanween in these sessions that we covered. And then for Izhar we have 6 letters, the letters of the throat: Al-Hamza, Wal-Ha, Wal-Ain, Wal-Ha, Wal-Ghain, Wal-Kha. Right. So remember these from the from the throat. The articulation points are from the throat. That's why you have the Izhar rule. So you have to pronounce the Nun Sakina and Tanween if one of these 6 letters is followed by the Tanween or the Nun Sakina. Okay. And then one more thing I actually have to cover to recap this, which I will cover at the end in a couple of minutes here. Okay, so you have these 6 letters, and this causes the izhar to happen. So, for example, min ayyi shay'in khalaqa. So you don't pronounce the min, you don't pronounce the gunna, you don't do the ikhfa, you don't do anything. You just pronounce min ayyi shay'in khalaqa. So you pronounce the nun sakina and you pronounce the tanween. Okay, similarly here also min alaq and kufuwan ahad. Okay, even if it's in the middle of a word, like in the case of one har, so you pronounce the noon properly without doing the gunna or the ikhfa. Okay. Idgham is insertion or merging, and we had two types here. We have idgham only happens with these 6 letters, which is yarmalun, ya, ra, mim, lam, waw and noon. So you have two rules here. You have idgham bighayr gunna, idgham bi gunna and idgham bighayr gunna. Idgham with gunna and idgham without gunna. So idgham with gunna happens with ya, noon, mim, waw, these four letters. Okay, so yarmalun is what we need to remember for idgham, but yanmu, these four letters are the ones that cause the idgham to happen with the gunna. And how do you join them together? You join them together like this. Qulubun yawma idhin wajifa. So bun yawma and then yawma idhin wajifa. So because of the tanween, and one of these letters is ya and the other letters is waw, so you join them together, you merge them together. Okay, and then here لغوا ولا كذابا. So here you join the tanween with the waw. Okay, where is this one here? ألم نخلقكم من ماء مهين. So you have nun sakina with followed by a mim. So you go mim ma'in mahin. So you join them together. Okay. And then you have these are the exceptions. Qinwanun, even though there is a waw, you don't do qinwanun, you do qinwanun. And then you have sinwanun, and then you have bunyanan, and you have ad-dunya. So these are the examples that we have to allow for, even though they are part of this rule. Is anything after that follows yanmu, that follows with these four letters, you have to do idgham and you have to do gunna, but except for these four. Okay. All right. So idgham bi gunna is where you have, and also these are another examples, Yasin, wal Quran al Hakim, and Noon, wal Qalam wa ma yasturun. So these are also two other examples where you do have to make the exception and not do the idgham. Okay. All right. So now idgham bi ghayr gunna is where you have lam and ra followed by noon sakina and tanween. So in the case of tanween here, for example, waylun likulli humazatil lumaza. So instead of saying waylun likulli, you do waylun likulli. You join them together. And here you have humazatil lumaza. Instead of humazatin, you say humazatil lumaza. You don't say humazatin lumaza. You join them together with the case of idgham, humazatil lumaza, and there is no noon or tanween, so there is no gunna here either. Okay, so that's why it's called bighayr gunna. Kulu mir rizqi rabbikum here. Instead of saying min rizqi rabbikum, you go mir rizqi rabbikum because you join them together because of the ra. It's part of the yarmalun, and there is no gunna either. Okay, and this is the exception here. Waqila man raq. Because you pause at the noon in this example, you don't do the idgham because there is a pause here. So this is an exception to this rule. Okay. All right. So I think that's it for idgham. And then iqlab, which some of you missed this rule. This is basically changing the noon sakina or tanween into a meme. And this only happens if your noon sakina or tanween is followed by the letter ba. Okay? So if it follows by the letter ba, then you change the noon sakina or meme or the tanween sound into a meme, and you do pronounce the gunna, and you have to hide the meme by closing the lips at the meme. Okay, so these are the examples. فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي. So instead of saying أَنْبِئُونِي, you say أَنْبِئُونِي, and you close the lips when you're saying and you do pronounce the gunna. Okay, so فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي. So there should be no noon sound. There should be a meme with a gunna, but a meme is hidden because of your lips being closed. So this usually has a meme written there, even though it's not part of the word. It's written there just to indicate that you have to pronounce it with a meme, okay? So you don't forget. But even if that meme, this tiny meme wasn't there, you would still pronounce it with ambiuni, okay? And then that's because of the rule. You have to remember the rule is it's followed by a ba. So this, all of these examples, they follow by a ba, okay? So فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي مِنْ قَبْلُ وَمِنْ بَعْدُ. So there is a meme here written here because there is a ba. Otherwise, you would pronounce it وَمِنْ followed by some other letter. But here it's because of the ba, you pronounce it with a meme sound. وَمِنْ بَعْدُ لِلَّهِ الْأَمْرُ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَمِنْ بَعْدُ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ. So you don't say عَلِيمٌ, but you say عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ. Then كَلَّا لَإِن لَّمْ يَنْتَهِ لَنَسْفَعًا بِالنَّاصِيَةِ. لَنَسْفَعًا بِالنَّاصِيَةِ. You don't pronounce the tanween. You don't say لَنَسْفَعًا. You say لَنَسْفَعًا بِالنَّاصِيَةِ. Okay. So this is the rule for iqlab, and these are the rules for it, that you don't have the meme or trace of the, and don't have the noon or the meme traces, and you close the lips when you're pronouncing the meme, and then you're pronouncing the gunna as well. Okay. And then the last one we just covered was al-ikhfa, which means concealing. Okay, so you conceal the noon sakina or the tanween, whichever the case may be, if it's followed by any of these letters. So any of these letters means it's not one of the izhar letters. It's not hamza, ha, ain, ha, ghain, kha. It's not one of the idgham letters. It's not yarmalun, and it's not ba. So iqlab only has one letter, which is ba. So if it's none of these 13 letters, then all the rest of the letters, then you pronounce the ikhfa, which is hiding the noon or the tanween. And the examples are rijalun sadaqu and insana lafi khusr. Innal insana lafi khusr. And then you have another example here. Sayasla naran dhata lahab. You pronounce the gunna, but you don't pronounce the actual noon sound. There's no naran, but naran dhata min sharri ma khalaq. And then so these were the rules for ikhfa. Okay. And there are some other things here that are not really that important right now. Inshallah, when we get more advanced, and you will, pay attention to all of these rules, all of these things. And then one of the tricks in writing when you are reading the Quran, if you see there is the double fatha, double kasra, and the double dhamma to indicate the tanween. This is written with the two harakas, or two fathas, two kasras, and two dhammas aligned together. If they're aligned together, then you're doing ilhar. So it's just to give you assistance, so you don't, when you're reading, it might be easier for you to remember. When these two are aligned together like that, fatha, kasra, and dhamma, zabar, there, and pesh, if they're aligned together, then you do izhar. If they are not aligned together, if they're like slightly, this only happens in, mushaf from the Arab world. Usually in the Pakistani mushaf, I don't think they use this one. But if you're reading from Mushaf Medina or something like that, the one that we're using is also Mushaf Medina, I think. This one should have those examples, right? So here you can see the Sayasla naran dhata. So this one has the two fathas are kind of, I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of small. But two fathas are kind of not aligned together. So that's why you're doing the ikhfa. Same thing with the waybin. So the two kasra are not aligned together. So that's why you're doing the idgham. And then ظُلُمَاتٌ وَرَعْدٌ وَبَرْقٌ. So here you're doing the idgham, and that's because they're not two. I mean, these two are not aligned together because you are supposed to do idgham here. And then نَارًا فَلَمَّا. So here you're supposed to do ikhfa, and here you're supposed to do ikhfa as well. شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ عُمْيٌ فَهُمْ. So you're supposed to do ikhfa here. So that's why you're, in the case of idgham or ikhfa, they're not aligned together. In the case of izhar, they're aligned together. So just a trick to remember. And then in iqlab, you have a little meme, to indicate that you should pronounce the letter. You shouldn't pronounce the tanween or the nun sakina, but you should pronounce the meme. So instead of double fatha, you have one fatha and then one meme. So it's kind of a trick, okay? And then one dhamma and one meme, and one kasra and one meme instead of two kasras. Okay, so it's just something, I don't know if it helps you or not, but those are the rules. So inshallah, we will cover we'll do kind of a revision next week, and we'll try and see if we can cover ahkam al-mim as-sakina, the mim sakina rules, which is our next chapter, starting next week, inshallah ta'ala. So with that, inshallah, we will go ahead and close today's session, and we'll see you guys again next week, inshallah. Practice, practice, practice. Just try and read slowly, slowly, slowly. That is your motto. You're supposed to read slowly, and the more slowly you read, the easier it is for you to observe the rules. And jazakumullah khair, barakallah fiqh. And inshallah, we will make the recording available as soon as we can. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Okay. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.